This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 3 dangerous words that are keeping you boxed in the third dimension. I'm going to show you exactly how to get out of that box so that you can start to experience higher states of consciousness. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to transcend the third dimension by letting go of 3 words that keep you boxed into it. Now, before I even get to that part of the video, understand that our words have a powerful effect over our lives. The definitions we have about who we are is and reveals the beliefs we have about who we believe we are. And we always experience a reality that is equal to the beliefs that we have. That's actually what reality is, to be honest with you. It's a reflection of what we believe or perceive to be true. So if we want to change the outside, we must know that we must first change the inside in order to do so. And that many times has to do with changing our definitions, changing the way that we view ourselves, changing the beliefs we have, letting go of beliefs that no longer serve us. And there are certain words that carry with it these concepts that keep us entrained. Now, first off, you might be asking yourself, bro, what's the third dimension? Like, I get 3D, like I've seen 3D movies before, but what is the third dimension? Well, the third dimension is something that we came here to this planet because we're eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. What we did is we decided that we were going to come to Earth. We were going to go through a veil of forgetfulness. We were going to totally forget who we are so we could go through a process of remembering who we are. Now, something else that we knew was going to happen on the planet right now is a shift in consciousness. We knew that we would be going from the third dimensional states of consciousness into the fourth and fifth dimensional states of consciousness. We knew that that was something that was meant to be happening. Why? Well, there's this ascension that happens every so often that allows us to then, in a way, graduate and upgrade our vibration to a new level. So there was a call that was put out back in the 1930s. I believe it was 1930s. For more on this, what I'm talking about right now, you can check out Dolores Cannon's books. She has 17 books. I think it's the 3 Waves of Volunteers. And basically what she did is people would be hypnotized into a very deep level of brain state activity to where their higher self would come through. And then Dolores would ask them many questions about why they incarnated, who they are beyond this physical vessel, why there were certain people in their life, what were the themes they're experiencing in their life. And then certain answers would come through. And through thousands and thousands of different transcripts from people all over the world, that's what her books are, they're transcripts of her work, of the hypnosis sessions that she does. From thousands of people all over the world, a very consistent theme was coming through. People are incarnating because they wanted to go through this shift in vibration, this shift in dimensional states of consciousness. And we are going from the 3D, which you can think of as duality. Think of 3D like good, bad, light, dark. Think of 3D as well as like the solar plexus. There's a certain level of control that's been within the third dimension on the planet. And you could see that with the government, the way that things are ran. And there's this level of duality. And it keeps people entrained into a certain vibration. And when we believe that also another aspect of third dimension is that of feeling separated from everyone else, not knowing that we are all connected. So we feel like people aren't as connected to us, or we feel like people in general, we have to like survive for ourselves. We have to do things to benefit ourselves versus understanding that there's this collective connection that we all have. That's why what you put out is what you get back, because what you do to someone else, you do to another aspect of yourself. So the third dimension has been, in a way, a hypnosis on the whole planet for thousands of years. There's been certain levels of control that has kept that bubble, that reality bubble there. And what has happened is we are now moving into a fourth and fifth dimensional state of consciousness. The 4D level of consciousness is where we realize that life is a form of dream. We start to realize that we're all connected. And we start to realize things are more about vibration than anything else. When we're in the third dimensional state of consciousness and we talk about manifestation, it's like, I need to get from over here to, I need that from over there to come over here. We try to attract something from over there to into here. It's about working hard, work ethic. Now, the paradigm we're moving into is more about vibration. Vibrational resonance doesn't mean you don't take action. It just means that it's coming from a different place. It means that you're more so focused on vibrational resonance. There's also more of an awareness that there is this connection between all things. There is this thing called the collective consciousness that we're all connected to. That's why we're going through this shift together at different paces for certain people, but in a general energy bubble, we're going through it together. And the fifth dimensional state of consciousness is more of just this state of unconditional love, which is a potential. However, I would say that right now on the planet, there is this stronger pull going from 3D to 4D reality. And actually, I believe that the 4D reality is already completely here, but what happens is we create the illusion of the 3D from the 4D level of consciousness. So we're creating the illusion of so much solidity and form and so much control that has been happening on the planet, when in actuality, there's so much more to reality, and we're becoming aware of that. So what we agreed to come to Earth to do is to completely forget who we are. Many of us were incarnated into families, into experiences that shook us up so that we could remember who we are. And what then happens is we go through this remembering process, and we go from more of the 3D, solid, duality, good, bad, light, dark, to observing that, maybe through meditation, and then we start to realize that we are vibrational beings. We are eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences, that what we put out is what we get back because we're all connected. And over the next 10, 15, 20 years, this transition is going to continue to exponentialize beyond what we can even imagine. You may see that now. Old structures are falling away. New structures are being put in. Now, what is one of the words that is keeping you locked into the third dimension? The first word is gossip. Now, this is a concept versus just a single individual word, because words have only the meaning we give it. Understand that as well. Yes, they carry a certain vibration, but the vibration depends upon the person that's using it. Because if I were to say a word that you'd never heard of before, but it were to mean something to me, it'd have a different effect on me than it would anyone else. So understand that the words do carry vibration. However, what does this whole concept mean to you of gossiping? When we gossip about other people, whether it's people at our job, whether it's people in our family, people that we know, when we gossip, we put out negative vibration, and that goes into our energy field. There's a toroidal field around our body that goes around our energy field and creates disturbances within it. And then we go out into the world, and parts of our energy field that are imbalanced then resonate with other people, and they can feel that off of us. When we gossip about other people, they feel that, and they will gossip back. And we may not hear it, but what you put out is what you get back. That's how it works. And when it comes to gossiping, that is one thing that will keep you in the third dimension, because when you gossip about other people, it lowers the integrity, and also it puts us into a lower vibrational state. When we gossip about people, it means a lot of times as well that we're not necessarily content with where we are. Because think about it. If you were killing it with where you were, what if you were just doing amazing, you just won the lottery or something, or you just got some huge accomplishment. The lottery doesn't necessarily mean happiness, but you had some huge accomplishment that you're very proud of, that you're very passionate about, and somebody were to come up to you and say, "I hate your shoes," or they would gossip at you, or whatever. They'd say, "Oh, he or she didn't deserve that." If you were in such a happy state, you wouldn't care. You'd be like, "Okay, I'm just excited because this just happened." You would just be excited in general. So you see, you can have that be the natural state of being anyways. You can understand that you can be happy regardless. You cannot let other people's thoughts affect you, but at the same time, don't talk bad about other people, because gossiping is the thing that will keep you in lower vibrational states of consciousness. When you see that of the vibrational chart that I share in a lot of videos, the different states of consciousness, you'll see at the bottom shame, fear, guilt, anger. Then what you see is neutrality, which is a huge step because you learn how to neutralize your thoughts. And then you'll see that of willingness, acceptance, love, reasoning, and then love. And what you'll notice that if you're gossiping, it's towards the lower vibrational states of consciousness. It may be anger. It may be jealousy, which will have different undertones in it of the lower vibrations. It may be many things. But understand what you put out is going into your energy field. and it keeps you tethered to certain dimensional states of consciousness. You see, if you're gossiping about someone else, you believe that you're still completely separate from someone else. That's a third dimensional concept. But when you realize that everyone is having their own experience, then what happens is you start to gain your power and you start to get it to where, why would you talk bad about someone? Because that someone else is another aspect of you. They're connected to you. So you see, that's the awareness that keeps you to where you untether yourself from that lower vibrational state of consciousness. Now, the second word that is keeping you locked into the lower vibrational states of consciousness, into the third dimension, is that of the news. News. Just put news in general. What does the news mean to you? What are you paying attention to? What thoughts do you have that is linking up to maybe the media, the news, Fox News, CNN, whatever it is, that is keeping your vibration low? Because you see, that's what the news does. The news is set up so that it keeps us tuned to a certain frequency band. You see, these frequencies are all around us. There's 4D frequency, 5D frequency states of consciousness. It's all around us right now. But what we resonate with will depend upon what we're tuned to. And when I say tuned, I mean actually even tuned via your television. If you are watching the news, the media, and it's projecting to you a world that you should be afraid of, you should be afraid to be in, then it's keeping you in the survival root chakra type level of consciousness. You will then be afraid to go out, and you will start to develop mass beliefs that the world is a scary place. So you see, this comes from whatever we tune to, we start to become more of. We start to believe that's the way it is. Our attention is what tunes us as far as frequency goes. So the word news, what does that mean to you? How are you using the news in your current life, or using that version of it? Are you maybe watching YouTube channels that are talking about all the drama that's happening in the world? Are you maybe watching the news on television? Are you tuning to those frequencies? Because those frequencies are specifically there to keep you believing this is the way the world is. There's a consciousness shift happening on the planet, but the news will never cover that. Maybe not never, maybe one day, but not for a while. But for now, when you get on the news, what are you going to see? You're going to see all this stuff happening in the world. You're going to see reasons to be afraid, reasons to do this, reasons to do that. And it's specifically delegated that way for a reason. So one of the best ways to raise your vibration is to just stop watching the news and stop watching content that keeps you in lower vibration. Could be the music you're listening to, could be the news, could be the media, could be watching certain things on even social media that are keeping your vibration low. Take an inventory of your vibration and what you're consuming, because you're becoming what you consume. When many people are focused on one thing, there's an energy structure that's created. I talked to Bashar about this recently when I went to a Bashar event. I asked him this question with archetypes, understanding these what are called thought pendulums, these thoughts that we have that the mass conscious reality, collective conscious will also have, and how that affects us. And it's all frequency. That's what he said. He says all frequency. And if we tune to that frequency, we experience it. But if we choose not to, we then open ourselves up to so many different frequencies around us that we could begin to experience. So understand that that's around us at all times. It's just up to us to tune to it. But pay attention to where you put your energy, because that energy will keep you tethered, once again, to the third dimension if you stay focused on it and if you believe that that's the way reality really is. Now, the third thing keeping you locked and tethered into the third dimension is anger. It's just anger in general. Now, anger in a way could be a more powerful emotion than some of the shame, fear, and guilt of the lower vibrations, because anger is when you start to claim your power back. It's when you say, I have a right for this and I'm not getting it. However, if you remain angry towards other people, it will keep you in the third dimension versus forgiving. The secret to healing in general, all the lower emotions, is really just healing yourself and forgiveness. It's forgiveness. Forgive yourself and forgive other people. I was angry towards my ex-stepmom for the abuse I went through when I was growing up. But what happened was having that perspective, and even after my dad divorced her, I would have people in my life that always represented that pattern back to me. until I completed the past and I forgave her. I saw that that led me to a spiritual awakening. I saw that she was treated the same way by her dad. So it doesn't make it right, but it does make me understand it better, and then I can let go of it. Once I let go of it, my life transformed. So many people that were representing that same energy to me fell out of my life completely, never had to deal with it since. But you see, when we're angry about something, it keeps us tethered into this separateness, and it keeps this energy within our energy field so that we can't allow in the fourth and fifth dimensional states of consciousness and beyond. So anger is also attached to a positionality. We must have some position, some perspective that keeps us within that frequency band. So the key to us getting to this new state of the 4 or 5D level of consciousness is getting into our heart. And anger is a block that keeps us from experiencing love in our heart. So understand that you can connect to this by connecting into your heart center. By knowing that you're connected to everyone else. Even right now, just put your hands over your heart just for a minute and take a deep breath in with me. As you breathe and as you put your awareness in your heart, you start to bring the awareness and the energy into your heart as well, physically. And doing this for just a couple minutes a day, you begin to become more heart-centered. What we are currently doing on the planet is we're moving more into a heart-based consciousness. Creating from the head and creating from duality isn't as powerful as it used to be. It's now about creating from the heart, a singular point of focus. And the paradigm we're moving into is when we start to feel connected to everyone else. But these blocks around our energy field, these gossiping, the news that we're paying attention to, that we're frequency resonating with, and the anger that we may have keeps us as a shield. And that's why what the media does as well is it keeps you angry about things. This person said this. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? It keeps you creating the heart walls around you. Instead, focus on the love. Focus on forgiving other people. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. It's a very powerful concept. Understand that everyone's doing the best they can with where they are. And maybe they're at a level of consciousness where they hurt other people. That's where they are. Doesn't make it right, but it means you can understand it. And that allows us to then forgive ourselves, forgive other people, to let go of it out of our own energy field. So these are the 3 things keeping you locked into the 3rd dimension. You can raise out of it by letting go of these 3 ideas, by understanding it from a higher level of awareness. Also, I have a meditation that'll help you to raise your vibrational set point. You can listen to it for 21 days. I think it'll change your life. It's in the top of the description box below. Also, I'll be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. I did one last night for about 45 minutes. If you want, you can check it out right here. Plus, I do them quite often, so you can ask me questions. I also post twice a day there as well. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification gear so you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.